Yo, what up, internet? Welcome to Bricks and Beer, episode 16. Fucking thank you guys for watching. Welcome back to your mom's favorite podcast about booze and Lego. If you want to watch the other ones, that's rad. There'll be a link somewhere, roughly on this base plate. It's not very exciting. It's kind of a mediocre base plate, but whatever. This is even my base plate, which is why I'm using it, because I gotta give it back to the person. And it was here, so fuck it. There you go. Thank you guys again for watching. Welcome back to another one. Fucking everything is awesome, right? It's cool. It's weird. It's busy. It's crazy busy in my life, but I've been fairly productive, which is good, I guess. So we're going to talk about some classic Japanese stuff. We're going to start with the beer tonight. I'm drinking the good old Kirin Ichiban Prime Brew. You guys tell me what you're drinking. Hopefully it's something exciting. I was really hoping for like a really cool niche Japanese beer. Went to my Japanese market. Didn't have much. It's kind of weird. So we got the big deal. There's like a big case of these over there, which is rad because it's cheap. And I like this beer. And what's crazy is I looked this up because I was like, I gotta have something to say about this beer besides it was cheap. Fucking this beer started brewing in 1888. That's a fucking long time ago. So they've had plenty of time to perfect this. And it's pretty decent. So like, well done, Kirin Brewing. Which is like mad, crazy Japanese, like deep roots, like president of Mitsubishi somehow at the time was involved with this. So it's fucking weird. And it goes deep, which I guess is cool. So I got a bunch of shit to show. I guess I'll talk about the shirt. So the homie, Brickster Tees, Vlad, fucking sent me this shirt, dude. Like, I didn't pay for it. It's rad. It's the first official sponsor. Anybody else wants to send me some shit? Fucking send me a message. But yeah, enough of the fucking shilling. This weekend, if you're in LA, if you're in the Pasadena area, you should come hang out at Comic Bricks. Comic Bricks is at booth 1200 at the old Designer Con 2015. Just Google it. There's no actual website on here. I think it's decon.org. Sorry, Alien. I guess I'm an asshole for not knowing that. But there, you know how to use the internet. You're watching this. But yeah, so Comic Bricks is pretty cool. This is Upside Down, and it's the third year we've done this now. Basic concept is you take a comic book cover, something like this gem, speaking of Japanese classics, and then you recreate in Lego. This is the one I did for last year, I think. And I did two. I did this one, which I really, really liked. The glare is awful on that. Sorry. Yeah, I guess you're just going to have to deal. There's a comic book. So I did this one, and then I did a Electra cover. And the Electra cover sucked. It's lame. I didn't even take photos. I'm pretty sure I don't have any photos. But this one I have decent photos of, and I'll show you this one because it's old. The original concept for this one, as soon as I can pick it up here, was for it to be a total shadow box. So this title treatment thing was up here where this lower part is. So you see the comparison there. Bam. We got our little tank. I like to build robots. I really like the background in this, like the layered effect. All of this works really well. Like, I'm really happy with this. The little like dirt patch thing that's overhanging that's not really on this cover, but it's sort of implied. Like there's that little corner of it. It's pretty cool. Like minifigs, which is kind of whack. Like I really wanted to do something that was like not minifigs. And the Electra cover, like, so it's, I think Electra, the new series, some early number or something. And it was her face drawn like mosaic out of like dead and bloody ninja bodies, which was rad. And I was like, I got a bunch of ninja minifigs. I'll just slap a bunch of shit on there, and didn't really work out. So this year I did two different ones. Well, there's a story about the second one. But let's talk about the Japanese classic for a minute. So the old Akira. So Kirin, 1888. Akira, not the comic book, but the movie, 1988. Coincidence? Who knows? Anyway, Akira, it's a seminal thing. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch the anime. And like, there's variations of the anime, and Paul, Lego Samurai, fucking shout out to you, Paul. He's like a real stickler for the dubs, because there's so many different versions of the dubs and different edits, and like the OG, like you have to have it on VHS one is the best one, and I agree. And like for me, Akira was really weird because it was kind of the first real anime I saw. It was technically the second. So I saw like the Macross movie, which is sort of like a throwaway, out of context, like, oh, whatever. And then I saw Akira, and I think I was like 14 or 15, and it did a lot. Like, it fucking was the first violent cartoon I'd ever seen. Like, really violent. Like, they shoot the dogs in the traffic scene. I remember my mom kind of like watching this being like, what are you getting into? And when they shot the fucking dog, she was like, oh, this is not like a cartoon. And and like from there, you know, the fucking movie's amazing. The bikes are huge. And then I read the comics like years and years later in college, like the big fat like massive tombs, and there's some dumb number of them. I think it's like 12 or 13. I don't actually own any of the like big tombs because I always borrowed them from people. Everybody I knew kind of had them. It was like you could just like they were in circulation. So I bought this comic on a whim last year because I was like, I'm gonna make a comic brick, and like I went through my old comics, and there were some good ones, but then I was like, you know, I'll just find one. And for some reason, like this one, I had in a box somewhere. I just picked it up along the way, and it was like perfect. And I went to the store and I looked at other Akira issues to do a second Akira one, and like they didn't really have any good covers I was inspired by. So I was just like, yeah, whatever, fuck it. Like, do this shitty Electra cover, right? So this year, I was like, I'll go back to the comic book store, check out what they got. And I picked up this boy. Issue number 5. With the iconic Canada motorcycle right there. So, before I show you the Lego, and I haven't taken any photos of the Lego, I probably will shortly. I wanted to do this for 2 reasons. One, all the Akira books are like consistent with the framing device and the title, and it's really clean, and I already figured out how to do the type from the other one, so it was like an easy shortcut. And I was like, I already know the shadow box thing, like, I can do this easily. Well, this is a motherfucker. Like, the bike, so here's the problem with the bike, right? Tons of people have done it. It's a cool motorcycle. But there's shit tons of other cool motorcycles in Akira. And the Canada's bike is clearly like the best. And there's so many versions. And there's so many perfect ones. The Arvo brothers did one. They fucking came out with a book for it. And it's really great, right? But there's one part that they didn't nail. And it's one of those things that like, it's solely the limitation of the palette we work within. Because here's the deal. So this is the Raptor windshield, right? It's like perfect. It's the Raptor windshield. This looks like the BSG Raptor. There is no Akira windshield. Because the Akira windshield, when you look at it in profile like this, has these weird like hinky things that hang off. And then it's super long because it's slanted back, but it curves around this like organic shape. So when you see like the Todd McFarlane toy or like people's fucking real world rideable ones, the windshield's always on point. But in the Lego versions, it always sucks. Right? Okay. So that's a long way of saying my version of this kind of sucks. For 2 reasons. One, I felt like the Arvo one exists, and it's so goddamn perfect, and like, I'm not going to build half an Arvo one coming out. So I'll show you mine, and I'll pick up the comic, and we'll talk about it, I guess. So this is mine. Big motorcycle exploding out of the background. This was built solely for this one angle, right? To kind of nail that. There you go. It's sort of there. I'm trying to keep the glare off of it. It's a little stumpy, and it's a little weird from the side because of that. It's also because of the windshield thing. Like, this fucking annoys the shit out of me. And the Arvo brothers, they use 2 of these back to back, and they have it far more slanted. And I could have extended this out, but then I would have to build more of the bike. And to be honest, I kind of just stopped caring about this part of the way through. Like, it's serviceable, it's sufficient. You put the comic book next to it, and then I'll be like, oh, I see what you did there. And there is, like, Kanna's grumpy eyebrows in there that you may or may not ever be able to see. Maybe I will have to take a photo of this, because there's eyes. They're in there. They look vaguely like this. Wow, my cinematography tonight is excellent. What's up, guys? Yeah, so anyway, I guess I'll take a photo of this. So I've got the 2 Akira ones. I could try to be brave and show you both of them at the same time, I suppose. And this might be one of those times where I actually drop something live on camera, and that'll be rad. So there you go. They're companion pieces, I guess. Live in the same universe, whatever. Issue 31 over here in this hand. Issue number 5. Bam. So this convention's coming up this weekend, and I was like, yeah, man, so I did the one, and I wasn't really feeling it all the way, but whatever, it's done, it's cool, it looks good with the other one, which the other one really is the, like, one that I think is better. And I was like, man, I gotta do another one. So I dug through all my comic books, and I was, like, looking at all this shit, and I pulled out some, like, all my comics are from the 90s, so I pulled out some awesome shit, like Sleepwalker #1, look at how fucking awesome and hardcore this is. I really wanted to do this. I tried to actually build this last year, and I was going to try to build it again with the new weird scary face, but the scary face from the Ninjago line, like, doesn't really work. So I was like, whatever. So I'm, like, just chilling, and I've got this pile, and I'm solely going to blame Wizard for this. Pull out this. This is 9-volt #1 from Top Cow. This is from 1997. I know that because there's a convention advertisement for Wizard World, July 4th, 1997. And I was like, whatever, like, this cover looks really cool. I don't really remember this book. I'm pretty sure I got it for free. And I started to build this. And I got a decent amount of the way. I'll show you what I did, and you can see in comparison, it started to get there. This looks more like an angry gentleman than a pouty girl. And I was gonna work on that, and I was gonna get closer. And then I made a critical mistake, right? So I opened this book up, and no offense to Sun Chun Weems or Isanov, this is like the fucking worst comic I've ever read. Like, this is so hardcore 90s. Like, all of it is terrible. It's like, just like, looking, and I'm not shitting on your art, dude, but just, the story is awful, and everybody is in that, like, 90s sort of, like, they look like they're Jesse Ventura and Predator kind of deal. And then this is totally what killed it for me, is the last panel of this comic. The last page is this, right? And it's finally the chick emerging from the cocoon, and you're like, oh, you're a sexy cyborg chick. Increase your sex appeal. Read 9-volt #2. Couldn't do it. Done. No more 9-volt. So fucking go to Pasadena, come to Comic Bricks, and you can see the Akira ones, because those will be there, and that'll be rad, right? Yeah, sure. So yeah. Oh, and speaking of Akira, I'll show you something I bought solely for a dumb reason. But before we get there, oh, and one weird thing. So I looked up a couple of things just to, like, make sure I had my shit on point. The dude that wrote the comic books that preceded the movie is the guy that directed the movie, right? Rad. This future is supposed to be in 2019, which is not that far away, which is kind of a trip. Speaking of trips and time travel and wacky shit, I've been watching a lot of cartoons lately. Like, cartoons are awesome. And I've been watching Rick and Morty. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. You can watch it for free on Adult Swim, or at least most of it. So I've watched most of the free parts. And it's fucking hilarious. And there's this ridiculous dance called the Rick Dance that Rick does at some party. And there's, like, a Mr. Boombox robot dude. He doesn't actually have a name. Rick just kind of yells at him. I'll link to the YouTube thing down there. So bam, there's Mr. Boombox, dude, playing the jams. I built this just because it's fucking hilarious, right? It's like totally a Soundwave knockoff, except like he's more of a ghetto blaster, and like he's obviously a ghetto blaster and a robot at the same time. He's not in disguise as a ghetto blaster, so it's kind of doubly weird. And it's pretty faithful to the animation artwork. I put the stripes in the boots because that's fancy, and all of this shit. So he was gonna be way smaller. I was gonna build like a minifig or a mini-land scale dude, and like do a Rick and Morty, and then I wanted to do all of this shit, and he just got bigger, which is cool. So if you go to Decon, he'll be there too. So what else? Oh yeah, all right. So I kind of fucked up the order. I was gonna talk more about Akira because I posted some shit on Flickr that's old. So I posted up all these bikes. I pulled these bikes out because I did such a shitty job on the other bike that I was like, man, the other bikes are so much cooler. And I realized I have all these bikes like sitting in a bag, right? And I was like, oh, I'll make some breakdowns just in case the internet wants them. And I also like just wanted to like look at the fucking Canada bike. Like the Tetsuo bike is awesome. All the other dudes' bikes are rad. So all of these existed for Keith Goldman's highway project, which is so rad. I'll link right there. He built a crazy giant highway that was like full of traffic that was being stopped by an army of mechs, and it was gigantic. And I saw it in Vegas with my own eyes, and I brought all this shit there, which was cool. So all these kind of existed for that, and then they've been repurposed over and over. So much so that like when I did Iron Builder with Nick Brick Thing. Sorry, Nick. I always fuck that up. I always fuck up people's names. Speaking of which, mad apologies to the Deathly Hollowell, and I didn't write this down again, Maris. I'm sorry. I think it's Maris. I'm not even gonna try the rest. Just I'm sorry, Maris. Sorry, Nick. Brick Thing. When we did Iron Builder, I fucking copied one of these designs and threw it into the classic Akira, deal. So there's a photo over there somewhere. And and he's got the gun, but it's not a Lego gun. Blasphemy. I don't know who makes this. I think it's a Halo gun, but it looks like a laser gun. And this guy's rad because he's got a cyborg face. So, deal. What else? Oh, okay, so I got one last thing and then we'll fucking get out of here. This one is kind of a short one. I'm jamming through all this shit. Guess I have stuff to do. I bought a set to fill in the type on the bike. Already fell off of this, but on this thing, because these slopes, these 4 length slopes in black, not that common. So I had to buy a set. I could have gone to Bricklink. I could have been patient. I'm not patient. This is a $30 set. This is the Ninjago Boulder Blaster. It's a plane. It has some stuff. I don't highly recommend this. Like, I literally bought this because this was better than the $30 Lego movie set that had the same pieces I needed. It comes with some figs. There's like a little landscape thing. You get the Indiana Jones snake helmet dude. You get this dude, who's fucking rad. He's got like the hardcore skeleton armor and the crazy like Skeletor swords. He's alright. Like the face painting is cool and stuff. Like these guys are okay. And then you get the plane. It's a plane. It has a gimmick, which is I don't really know how I feel about this gimmick. See, I'm shooting things over there. And see, it's fucked up, so it didn't fire 2 of these, which, fuck you. It's a well-designed set, and I know it's within the limits of the budgetation, or the budget. So, like, the dude that has to design this, and he put the handle on it, so you can totally, like, do it like a gun. So it's probably cool if you're a little kid, but there's, like, Nerf guns. They're way better than this. And I guess you could shoot the dudes. I don't know. It's not the greatest. It's okay. If you really want this, You want the swords? You want the fucking Skeletor, dude? Yeah, might be worth it. I mean, it's not bad. The price per part is not the greatest. It's 236 pieces for $30. So the 10 cents per part piece is not really there. And I think part of the reason why the budget's so heavy is because this includes 8 of these fucking missile launcher things, which are cool and I have a secret plan for, but I know that's expensive. I know that's just dumping money into the set. So, you know, whatever. Buy it at your own peril. What else? Oh, I got some other Lego. Here's a bag of it. I'm not going to talk about it. It's awesome. Yeah, I guess that's it. I've been super busy. Go fucking buy a t-shirt from Brickster Tees. There'll be a link on my shirt to his setup. And drink some beer. Hopefully you're having a good time. And I will catch you dudes and dudettes later.